Casual Connect Kyiv 2011. We're getting a little bit of a late start, so I'm going to keep my introduction short, and the other reason for that is that I can't actually pronounce his name. There's always one person at every show where I'm not even going to try. So this is Ziemowit.
Perfect, okay.
What's your last name?
PONIEWIERSKI.
PONIEWIERSKI?
PONIEWIERSKI.
From Can't Stop Games, and he's going to be doing a presentation that I've been looking forward to seeing ever since he presented it. These guys are doing some very innovative stuff around using Facebook platform features to promote matchmaking and in synchronous multiplayer games. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to you, and let's get started. Thank you.
Okay. How you hear me? Is okay? All right. So my name is Ziemowit PONIEWIERSKI. I'm very happy to see you today. We had it's the last day of this great conference. We had two great parties. One really powerful last night. So I'm very happy to see you today, and I hope you will enjoy it. All right. So. A few words about who we are. We are located in Poland. Can't Stop Games is a Polish company located in Wrocław in Poland. We are 35 people, and we have released two big projects so far. There are browser games, MMO, and social games, and we are in this department mainly in this part of the market. Also, we are working on two new projects, and also we are doing mobiles. And when it comes to my person, I've been in this industry for like 12 years, and after making games for different platforms, we have, with Artur Jaskulski here, we have started Can't Stop Games, and we decided to go browser and then social. Today I would like to present you the presentation that I prepared especially for this event. This presentation in English is available at our website. It's can'tstopgames.com/Kyiv2011, so you can download it directly from there or just see it there. Okay, so the title for this presentation is Facebook Groups Unite and Expand Social Graphs for Synchronous Social Gameplay. It may be a bit complicated for a start, but actually it's all about how we made in our game a very big feature, namely guilds, which seemingly needed like 2, 3, or 4 months of development, depending on how big we wanted to make it, of course it's really costly, and of course it's really prone to bugs and to unexpected problems. But eventually, thanks to creative use of Facebook tools, we managed to build the entire system in like 2 weeks with all the tests and release it to the players. We had great results. So this is about this, how we made it and what exactly we made. Okay, so maybe we'll start from the beginning. So Pirate Saga is an MMO title for social networks. It's a very colorful game about pirates, about treasure hunting, about fighting sea monsters, and about fighting other players. So the biggest feature here is that not only it is on social networks, it is a lot of social features there, but also it has synchronous gameplay and PvP elements. So it's very important for the sake of this presentation how we thought this game to be at first. So we decided to go to combine 2 ways. First, to build all those social features that you are familiar with, so friends, so short sessions, so being rewarding for everything, and so on and so on. You perfectly know this style. And enrich it with some synchronous gameplay, meaning meeting on not only friends from your social graphs, but also game mates that you befriend during play, and about very fast action, about fast-paced gameplay. So that was the plan, and we realized it. We made this game this way, and we focused a lot on those asynchronous features, on those social game features, because we believe that we are presenting it to Facebook players. So we have to consider them very much, and we knew that it will be something different for them, and it will be something maybe scary for them to start with a MMO title. So we started and we prepared the game this way, that it looked like a typical social game, and then you are slowly introduced to more MMO features. So that was our idea. We focused a lot on that social asynchronous type of elements, and it was our priority. But despite what we thought and what we did, players started to behave strangely for us. So at the beginning there was no sign of it, but a few weeks after we released the game, we noticed that people start to organize the way we never expected them to organize. So they started to build guilds. So they started to put the acronyms of their guild names in front of their names. They started to fight each other in an organized manner. They started to communicate, and they started to create events. And this is very important. We never gave them any tool to do so. So it was very spontaneous, and it was at the beginning we thought, okay, fancy. So it's a part of our gameplay. Okay, if people, it's an emerging gameplay. People found a way to have something for them. Okay, we know that it is, but we do not focus on it. But at a certain moment, we noticed that this is something that starts to be on top of everything. So the most important players in terms of how many times they what time they spend in the game, and how much money they spend in the game, and how they can organize other players around. So these were those people who wanted to organize in guilds and who pretended to be in guilds because they had no tools for that. So, well, we started to thinking what to do with it, because apparently our vision for this game and people's vision for this game is slightly different. And what we started with limitations. So we started thinking, okay, we are limited. Facebook limits this kind of gameplay. Facebook is mostly about friends. This kind of gameplay, guilds, MMO style, synchronous gameplay, is mostly about people you meet in the game, so you befriend in the game, very different style. The second thing is about communication. For purposes of social games, typical social, asynchronous social games, what is on Facebook on the first level of communications is enough. So you send the information for your friend, he can receive it next day, he can respond or not. It doesn't really affect your play very much. But in terms of MMO, especially in guild style, you need to be very synchronous, very immediate. You have to have a response right now, because action is right now. And well, we knew that Facebook is apparently not meant to be for MMO style. We treated this as a limitation. But we also made a list of features that will be important to leverage those guild gameplay. And we had some experience with this style of, with this kind of gameplay. So we knew that a very good communication tools are very important, and also some tools to organize, to join, to add members, to remove members, to manage them, to all those leadership tools that you need to have for organizing people. So this is all very important. If you are not supporting the game with it, so these guilds won't be that good as they can be. So this is what we thought that we have to do if we want to have guilds in our game. Okay, so we came back to Facebook with those limitations, with that list of what we need. We came back to Facebook and started to thinking, differently. So, okay, we forget limitations. Now we think what is on Facebook, what is in people behavior, what is needed from us to make those guilds happen. And we started to think about how people behave. What do they use outside from what is typically used in games, in synchronous games. So we thought about viral channels that are not used. We thought about people behavior, people ways of communication. We thought about also about our limitations, about time, about money, about everything that need to be considered. And the more we thought about it, the more we noticed that there is one tool, one powerful tool on Facebook that actually solves all our problems, that gives us everything we need and even more. These are Facebook groups. So Facebook groups are very they are very present in everyday experience with Facebook. So you can check what happens in your groups very easily. You, as a user, have access to a great wall where the graphics is existing, and also movies can be uploaded, and also a lot of information can be stored there. You have access to a great chat. You have access to notifications. You actually, when you are in group and the group is properly managed, you can get a lot of information from there, and this can be very lively. And groups are also very popular among Facebook users. So dozens of millions of users are in top 25 groups on Facebook. So this is a tool that people know. They know how to use it. They know how to organize it. This is something that they are very familiar with. Okay, so at the end we thought and decided that not only we have all those features and all those tools that we needed, but we have several things in addition, and this added value is very big. So first of all, it's very cheap to implement. In the beginning, when we thought about those tools, it was about huge money and huge effort. Right now we have this like for free, so this is very important. Second thing is that people are used to those tools. And this is also something that we cannot oversee. It's when you build something very new in the game, you always worry, will people accept it? Or will people understand what I'm giving them? And in this situation, groups are part of the daily experience with Facebook. There is nothing new in it. So at the end, there are many more features that we get from groups. But right now I would like to tell you how exactly we use it. So it's very important that we started with the notion, so groups are guilds. When you are in a game, you are in a guild. When you are on a Facebook, you are in a group. And whatever happens in guilds has its reflection on group, and so and vice versa. So at the end, there is a quotient between groups and guilds. So we started with the notion, and what happened? Right now, when a player wants to create a guild in a game, and he is in any group on Facebook, so he sees a list of those groups he belongs to directly in game. This is very easy from the API level. This is very easy to get. So one click on a group that you belong to, and this group becomes a guild in the game. It's that simple. This is one click. Second situation, when our player is not in any group. This is it doesn't happen very often, but we also had to consider it. So when you are in a game and you see that there is no group you belong to, so you can create one. So the game lets you create a group. A screen from Facebook group appears. One click and you create the group. And then you come back to the game, and the game knows that you created this group and present it to you, so you can click and create a guild. This time it's like half a minute, and you have your own guild in the game. The second situation, you want to join a guild that is already existing. Some of those guilds have many users, so many members so far, and they are quite famous in the game, so it's always an option to join something that is already existing. So you have a list of all those guilds, and with one click you can apply to them. So it moves you to Facebook groups, and then there is a button, add to a group or join the group. And after group administrator, and in Pirate Saga at the same time, guild administrator accepts you, then in a game you already know that you are in the guild, and immediately you can assume all those emblems and statuses and so on, and you can play as a part of a team. And inviting friends, this is also very easy. So right now in the game, you see a button, invite friends, you click this, and immediately on the wall of all the groups that you belong to, there is a notification, join our guild. So this is that powerful because it's not only about players of Pirate Saga you are a friend with by social graph. This is about all the users of those groups. They don't have to know about Pirate Saga at all, but at the end they learn. So this is what we gave to the players. I mean, this is what how we did it. But what they get, first of all, they have a completely new gameplay right now because they can quickly join any group or any guild, and they quickly can create any guild and start to fight each other, start to compete with each other. They have great chat. They can organize events. They have much more tools that they used to have, like before we introduced these features. So, and people accepted it very easily. There is a lot of guilds right now, and they are applying. It's very visible that who gives a tone to the game is guild members. This is very obvious in the game. The second thing about administration. So, guild administration typically means a lot of fighting with tools, sometimes tools from different applications, different forums, and so on. And here, if you ever created a group and you ever managed a group on Facebook, which is not that rare, right from the start you can be an efficient guild administrator. So it's about, you don't have to learn how to administer the guild. You just do what you used to do with all those events that you wanted to, all those groups you wanted to create on Facebook. This is a real life experience or Facebook experience that you transfer to the game. This is also about many events that can be built on this system. Right now there is a pretty cool event. It's a 24-hour battle. Whenever one guild wants to fight another guild, they just send invitation, and the invitation is accepted. They enter the state of fight. So after 24 hours, all the wins and losses of every singular battle are counted, and it affects the global leaderboard of guilds. So this is pretty simple event, but it's really powerful. People like it, and of course, notification about what happens during the fight appear on your wall, on your group wall. So even if you are not in a game, you see what happens. And it is also about global leadership, global leaderboard. So you can, whenever you meet someone in the game and you see that he's in a guild, just hovering over him, you see what position his guild has and who he is. So it is an incentive for different kind of interactions with those people. Before, there were just players. Right now, they mean something. So it's also a meaningful interaction. And great tools for communication. So it's not only the wall, it's not only about the gallery that you can upload graphics from your battles, your wins, and so on. So you can keep them in memory. But also about chat, which is, closed chat is something that sometimes is really important when there is a fight and people plan strategy. So this is also a cool stuff. But also there is an event planner. There is possibility to move everything to mobile, because Facebook application on modern smartphones is nothing surprising. So you get all the notification that, okay, we started a battle, come back to your computer and play. So this is really something. There is also added value to all those that we get from groups. There is also something that it's not that visible at the first look, but is also very, very powerful. First of all, you keep your real life friends separated from group members or game mates. It's very frustrating sometimes when you have to add all those unknown to you people to your social graph just because they will send you gifts or will help you to build this or that building. So it's that admin syndrome. You probably exactly know what I mean, but it's really frustrating, and I personally have a lot of friends on my Facebook who I really don't know who they are, but I needed them for this or that game, so I joined them. Right now, you can keep all those people who you play with in a group, and before it was a problem because Facebook seemed to be very efficient in communication with your friends, but non-friends, well, they actually not exist in your daily experience on Facebook. But when they are in group, and the group leaves, you have great tools to communicate with them also. The second thing is about change of how I perceive myself and myself in the game. So before, when we were thinking about social games, asynchronous social games, it was like, it is my game, and this is me, this is my game, there is you, your game, sometimes we cooperate because I send you something, you send me something. Right now, when there are guilds, people think about this experience as we. This is something really different, and not only for the emotions, but also for us, for their attention. So, okay, if the game frustrates me, or if the game doesn't make me happy anymore, so usually I abandon it. But in this case, before I abandon the game itself, the application itself, I think if I want to abandon all those people that I met there, that they gave me fun moments, and we had really good time. So this is another way of staying with the game, because it really means something, and this is very powerful emotional bond. And about gameplay. Gameplay expanded also. So before you have that application, you had that typical game mechanisms: sailing, fighting, gathering, selling stuff, buying stuff, and so on. Right now, the gameplay moved or expanded onto Facebook. So this is also something really powerful. You don't have to be in the application to be a part of the game right now. And the gameplay is also about managing people, about stimulating them, about all those leadership things that usually happens in social groups, and that entire social dynamics, it happens here, and it is a part of the gameplay. So even if you are not in the game, you are in the application, you are in the game, because every time something happens in your group, so you can comment it, you can see what happens. You don't have time to play right now, but you can see what happens, and you can be, as a part of. It's a part of emotional bond with the game. So you always stay with the game, even if you are outside the application. It all depends on the people. If you are in a group with great people, they always give you incentive to think about the game at least. And about viral, I told you before that this is also very powerful tool. Right now, with one click, one player with one click can send information to all the people in all groups he has. So you can imagine how powerful it is. What is important is that We can use this tool. I don't know for how long, but we can use this tool right now, and it gives results. All right, about results. Right after we introduce guilds, our results in financial results has also risen. And there is nothing surprising. People have to be efficient. If they are to be efficient, they have to buy efficient stuff. Efficient stuff costs money. So, not surprisingly, those effects has been seen. What is more is that every time there is a big battle between guilds, and we see it, it's a huge rise of spent money that day. So we definitely know that this is the way to develop, the way to go. The second thing about new users, we introduced guilds and the percentage of new users has grown. This is also something not surprising because of those viral tools that we applied. And the third thing, at the beginning we thought, okay, we add those guilds. It was part of the risk. We add guilds and nobody will, okay, there are certain freaks who want to play this style, but maybe this is something this is not the general trend. But a few weeks after we released this feature, and we really didn't promote it, there were 2,500 guilds already registered in the game. There is a bigger number right now. This is from 2 weeks ago, so definitely people experiment with it, and they know how to do it. So, what are our plans for the future? First of all, we develop new features on these mechanisms. It's very easy right now to think about really cool stuff that will keep people entertained, just because we have tools for it and we can experiment with them very quickly. Second thing is that we closely look at every new feature on Facebook, every tool, because we really overlooked groups before. I'm pretty sure that we overlooked a lot of other tools that can be used. If only they can be used in a smart way, then can give us great results. And the third thing is that we are also moving with this kind of thinking outside Facebook. Right now we are integrating with Nasza Klasa in Poland, and definitely they have groups. They have very similar tools that Facebook have. So definitely we will use the same thinking there, and we will also build guilds there around the groups. So my last words here would be, okay, Facebook seemed at the beginning as a very, very wrong environment for this kind of gameplay, but it turns out that Facebook is also an uncharted waters, and we do not know we haven't explored it yet. And there are many tools, many things that can be wisely used, and if we do, we can do it on our benefit. Okay, thank you very much.
I think that may have been the smartest presentation I have seen in the last year about using integrated Facebook tools to make your user experience better in games. Well done.
Thank you very much.
I think we have some questions.
Hi. I looked at your game a few days ago, played it, and it has all the features of every major successful Facebook game. However, the stickiness of it is only 7%, which is basically a failing game.
Yeah.
So do you understand the reasons for this?
Yeah, of course.
Can you comment on them?
Yeah, I believe that many people have diagnosed it before. It's very apparent. Facebook games really need something visual, and this is about okay. This is one good word for it. It's about closure, and it's about it's about building. So you have to have some kind of environment that is living there or have its own dynamics after you leave the game, and it has to be visual. It has to be manageable. This is all. That's why all those building games thrive on Facebook. Really, nobody affords right now to release a game without building part. It's Zynga games, even if they are about RPG experience, they always have this part of this is my place, I build here buildings, I gather stuff from them, and so on, so on. Gardens of Time, this is about hidden objects, so that's why we build a huge garden. So this is whole city building there feature. And not for unknown reason. It's very obvious why this feature is there. Pirate Saga doesn't have it. Pirate Saga is a typical MMO in this aspect, and this is 7%. You said 7%, so this is more than any other MMO game on Facebook, I would say. I have seen many MMO games, typical MMO games, great games. I really would be very happy to say, okay, this is my game, and they do much worse.
So do you feel like that engagement number, that stickiness factor is something that you must fix, or do you feel like your game is successful even with a low stickiness?
We perfectly understand what happens, but we are not. We decided not to focus on this kind of gameplay that I told you that will bring us more retention from typical Facebook players. The second thing that we have diagnosed for 7% is that this game has been presented to people who are typical social gamers, and we have already talked to we had during this event we had the discussion with our distributor, and we completely agreed that marketing for this game must be different, because we need different people for this game. And I'm pretty sure there are on Facebook, because there are hardcore players on Facebook. So that's why we have to focus on slightly different people. But it doesn't mean that the game itself doesn't give good feel. It means not everybody is looking for this type of feel on Facebook. And moderately good building games probably will have better results in terms of retention. But I'm pretty sure that pretty soon we will have much better results from very successful games in terms of how much money we earn, because we see this trend right now, what happens when we introduce hardcore features to the game.
Dzień dobry, Ziemowit, dziękuję za prezentację. And now question in English. This is more about the technical organization, because yeah, it's okay, the users, groups on the Facebook, etc., but of course you must have your own game servers, right?
Yeah.
And the Facebook, it just use it as a source for authentication, right? For getting this group, etc., right?
Yeah, it's obviously we have all the infrastructures on our side. What we get from Facebook is what they offer in the API. So we get information who belong to which group, and we get some information from those groups, like, okay, between this and that group there is a fight right now. This is on our server side.
This is on your server, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
I'm going to go all the way over to the other side of the room, so hold on just a second.
Hi, I would like to know how you handle community management. Is there a way for the players to contact you, to contact each other, to talk to each other, exchange tips, strategies, whatever?
Okay, so in terms of community management, those guilds, these dynamics that I presented you today, this is actually they are self-sufficient, so they manage them themselves. This is like there is always a leader in a group, and that leader does a lot of. They really put a lot of effort in that the guild is living and the guild has results. So this is one thing. The second thing, of course, on the company side, we have community management, but most of the questions that are coming to us is about technical things and also about ideas. So we have actually the communication between us and our users is pretty good. We you know, the company stems from, we started with a typical browser title, and the way to succeed in that department is to have good community management. So we have contact with our players, we gather all the information. Actually, every day we answer them, solve their problems, and what is very important is that we get many feedback from them. And this is what I presented to you today is what happened between us and our players. It wasn't like okay, one moment we decided to make guilds. It was really pushed from the bottom. So players pushed us to do so.
Okay, but how do the players communicate with you? Do you have email support, or do you have some kind of
we have
or
this
forum? How do you do it?
So there is in the footer of the game there is contact to us. You can send mails. We also use Zendesk. So it's pretty easy to reach us. In many languages. Right now it's like 12 languages, and sometimes our partners make this. There are in between us and users in Korea or in China. It would be impossible for us right now to manage those communities by ourselves. But we have our partner does the part of the job, so they send us information in the language that we understand.
Hello. I have two questions, and one is it possible to play this game without guild? If I want to play this game and I don't want to join any guild, will I have good gameplay? Because is it be too difficult to play without guild by myself?
No, it's as I told you in the beginning, this game was meant to be Facebook game. So actually there is a lot of quests that can be played single. There is a lot of opportunities to just have fun, being next to the guild or being next to other players, but not being a part of guild or something like this. So this is not a typical experience from hardcore MMO title where, let's say at level 10, you either join guild or you will never progress. This is very different. So you can actually have good results, really good results to the end of the gameplay. I mean, what we meant as the end of the gameplay, but guilds only give you opportunity to live something else. This is a completely different experience, and many people on Facebook are starting to enjoy it because I'm pretty sure most of them have never felt this kind of emotion where they had to fight for something in hand by hand with their mates. So this is something different, but it doesn't block them. If you are not willing to be part of a guild, you can be playing this game, have fun to the end.
Okay, and other question is technical. So you have private messages implemented by yourself and group messages implemented through Facebook groups.
So this is you can send as a member of a group. You can send information to the group, and it appears on group wall.
And about the private messages, if I want to send some message to some player without group, without guild.
So the direct contact, yeah?
Yeah.
It's all about knowing him. Right now it's all about knowing him, so you have to have his email, and you can also communicate in the game with him. So it's pretty standard situation. We have a mailer in the game, and this mailer is for all our users. So if you are a user of Pirate Saga, you can reach anybody regardless of if he is friend or not. And the same goes with chat. So you can start chatting with anybody in the game you meet in the environment. It's
and
just you.
It's made through your service.
Yes, this is our internal service.
And messages on the group chats in Facebook, are they fast enough for the just like instant messaging? So if everybody says we should attack now, so if anybody says we should
Yes,
attack
it's
now,
you see, it's like this. Sometimes you have to organize very quickly, and this group message is the best way to reach all the people. I'm pretty sure, but by what we see right now is that people, they don't have time and they don't really care whoever get this information, as long as it reaches those people who it needed to reach. So it usually appears on many groups, on the walls of all the groups that you belong to. It is effective, but it's also always an invitation to the game. I'm pretty sure that some of our results are because this is a viral channel that has not been blocked by Facebook so far, and really it is powerful. I don't know what will happen, because the more we will use it, the bigger probability that Facebook will block it somehow. Right now we can reach anybody, and people are using these tools.
So just to be clear, did you say that if you use group messaging, it will go out to everybody who uses groups, or just that group?
Everybody who okay, this is that powerful. If you belong to 20 groups, everybody in those 20 groups will see it.
I see what you mean by Facebook possibly blocking that in the
Yeah.
future. But even so, one of the things that's very difficult to do on Facebook is it's difficult to do one-to-many communication outside the wall, right? And the wall is pretty heavily curated by Facebook algorithms. So, to be able to have even a group of 100 people that you can communicate with directly because of a group integration through some metaphor like clans is a pretty powerful tool for any game developer, whether Facebook allows you to go cross-group or not. So. And you said that you doubled your ARPU basically overnight.
Yeah.
That's huge. Just speaking from somebody who has spent the last 3 years trying to figure out how to move the needle on monetization for social games, increasing your ARPU by 50% for a day is hard.
Actually, we see that the more we have users, the more users are in the game, and this is also spontaneous reaction that they gather into groups. Into guilds. The more guilds are there, the more fights there are, and at the end, the more fights, the bigger income. So this is, a kind of avalanche stuff. Okay.
So I believe we're out of time. Thank you very much for
Thank you
sharing
very
this with
much.
us.